take money, motherfucker!
And I just decided to, go and handle it. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to make the most of it because I'm so fucking angry. I'm not going to be able to enjoy my day. I'm going to just go to war. It's over. Enough is enough.
What's up? This is Vice Culture Club. I'm your host, Jackson Garrett. I'm your guide to what's going on at Vice this week and hopefully what's going on in the world. Check out the stuff on our channel. This week, we've got deathmatch wrestling with these two British guys. It's a father-son duo. It's bloody. It's crazy. I know you guys like wrestling. They slam lights into each other's backs. They run into barbed wire. It's really charming at the same time with a father-son relationship. We've also got more Taji. I know you guys love Taji. He's going to be in Puerto Rico doing some cool cowboy stuff, so check it out. He's always doing something interesting. Today on the show, we have a really interesting guy named Max, otherwise known as TRAXNYC. You've probably seen him all over the internet doing crazy stunts like throwing 20K cash up in the air in Times Square, running over jewelry with his car in the Diamond District. You might have seen a very, very viral brawl he was in, but better, in a good, more positive manner, you might have seen him in Uncut Gems. He is the real life Uncut Gems and he acted in it. He's a celebrity jeweler, but he's also a jeweler that's a celebrity. Max, thanks for being on.
I'm here.
We gotta break this for a business reason.
We destroyed our 1.8 kilogram solid 24 karat gold Rolex watch with our UFC friend Colby, and then we added another 3 kilos. That's a total of 5 kilograms of gold cast into a baseball.
Make baseball great again, make gold great again.
So this pure gold baseball gets processed and we bring it to the New York Yankees player Verdugo as we deliver his piece. Then we go grab a baseball bat and we see if we can hit a home run.
From personal experience,
Don't ever play baseball with a gold baseball, I gotta be honest. This gold baseball nearly broke my wrist. It's time to say goodbye. We took all of the gold that we used for the project, had it tested, and got $585,000. Did some shopping for some watches, put them in our shop, and that was our gold business move for today.
How'd you get into this? How'd you get into being a jeweler?
Well, in 2004, I graduated high school and I wanted to make money. It's already been 11 years since I immigrated to America. I immigrated with my family in 1993. And I didn't have any money and I didn't feel comfortable. So it was time to make some. And I graduated high school and college wasn't going to do it for me. I found a jewelry store on Canal Street where I was able to photograph jewelry. So I bought a digital camera, photographed the jewelry, put it up on eBay. When I sold it, I bought it. Then I shipped it, and I had my first few customers, and then I learned eventually how to manufacture and do e-commerce and build a business.
So you sold it before you bought it. How'd that
sold
work?
it before I bought it, correct.
Could you do that with anything? You take pictures of houses, cars, whatever, as long as you felt like you got a number you could get from it?
Yeah, that's quite possible to do it with anything. But in 2004, with jewelry, it was a bigger opportunity. All right, back then people thought that jewelry on the internet was like something crazy. I don't know if a lot of people haven't even been around at that time or don't really know how it works. But back then when I said, I sell jewelry on the internet, people used to look at me like, jewelry on the internet? Because the internet back then was just a joke for people. It was for something for weird things and .com bubble, kind of like the way people think now. This is weird and that's that and they don't think ahead. They don't do their due diligence and they fall behind in life. But you got to be a forward-thinking person, and that's what I was, and that gave me an opportunity to learn an industry and achieve my objective of making money, man.
I mean, I still don't know how expensive I would buy off the internet. I think I might have a limit of $1,000 before I feel like it would just get scammed.
You're probably, you could be right, but if you trust the brand and you develop a relationship, and then at the same time, if it's what you want and it's on the internet and you can't get it in a store, right, you'll take that risk more likely, right? The reason being is that, the Diamond District had more jewelry and more interesting jewelry and cutting-edge jewelry than the rest of the country. If you're in Minneapolis or, in Phoenix, Arizona, and you want a new diamond ring, and you're seeing one on this obscure eBay that's $2,200. Okay, it says TRAXNYC. It's some guy comes with an appraisal. It's $2,200, and then you go to your local jewelry store and they have a ring that's $5,000. That's way uglier and way whacker. And you're like, damn, if I get that ring and I take that risk and I get that ring, I'm gonna have the feeling that I want. So there was, there was a lot of opportunity there, and that's just really what it came down to.
What's the deal with the Diamond District? Like, I've been down there. It's got an incredible amount of people working in that one jewel. Is there like a special like law for that area, or is it just like a economy of scale? Like, why there?
It's a community. It was founded by when, after World War II, the Jews that came out of Antwerp and Belgium, they were still in the diamond trade. And they were working out of Canal Street, but they needed a real hub, and that was closer to Midtown where the money was. And some way, somehow, they grouped up together on 47th Street. So it was Jewish war refugees came down 47th Street to move diamonds around. And when you needed a diamond, you went down to 47th Street. It was an engagement ring. It was big stones, $100,000, $300,000, things like that. Back then it was the numbers were a little bit different, and then they created a hub. And then, once you have that hub, the Emerald guy shows up, and the good setters show up, and the diamond cutters show up, and then the stores downstairs show up. So everybody packed in on one street. And that's how that played out. And it has its own traditions, and it's still with the Jewish community. Of course, there's other people involved. There's craftsmen from South America, and there's a lot of people from Korea there and whatever. I mean, everybody's welcome.
I've noticed that, I didn't know how to broach that subject of that. There's a lot of Judaism in the diamond industry. You were talking about how it came over from Belgium during the war. Like, you're Jewish yourself, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Jewish immigrant. I'm a Jewish refugee myself, which is funny. I retraced those steps because I had nothing to do with the jewelry business. And, my father's Muslim. My mother's Jewish. I was raised Jewish. Didn't even know he was Muslim until I was like 15. But it's nothing to broach the subject. It's a street. It brings commerce into New York City. People visit it from around the world, but we're changing the Jewish culture over there, making it something really positive. And there's a lot of skills that the Jewish people have that we're sharing with the world via social media to make it a very interesting place. And it has a very interesting future that we don't even know what it is yet, because it's going to be me and another Jewish community, a group of people, Martin Rappaport, Moses and Moishe and a bunch of other Baharians. And we're going to have to build a future for the next generation, for the Jewish people and for the Diamond District, in a digital crazy world.
Now, you're a jeweler, but you're not just a jeweler, you're a celebrity jeweler. And you're not just a jeweler to the celebrities. Right. You are a jeweler that is now kind of a celebrity yourself. Like, how do you make that broach from selling to local grandmas and guys trying to get married and take it up to rappers and getting social media?
Well, I was working with rappers, and, I wanted the clout, and I wanted to be a part of it, and I wanted to do this, and I wanted to do that. And I was working with celebrities like Black China or Scott Disick or a bunch of other people. And then it was never a pleasant experience. And I never really respected the celebrity and the celebrity culture. I was disgusted with them. And I decided that I'm going to educate the public and I'm going to make interesting videos. And that worked. And then I built a name for myself, and I built a personal relationship with a lot of people from around the world. And I guess you could call that a celebrity or something like that, but celebrities are shit, bro. They're disgusting behavior, and the ego and making it about yourself is all bullshit. And a lot of these people are just, they don't know how to act. So I don't want to be a celebrity. I want to have a positive impact on you, the viewer. I want to be able to share Jewish culture, the better parts of it. I want to address the Jewish people. I want to educate people on value, on gold, on how money works, and other positive things. And that's it. And that's how I kind of came about it, by not giving a shit about the celebrity people that I've been dealing with, skipping right over that and trying to get in front of the camera and do it myself. And it worked.
Yeah, you've been doing insane marketing stunts. You know, like I guess like part of marketing could be dealing with the celebrities. You know, they wear your chain, all of a sudden it's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then the other side is you throwing money in Times Square. You know, you running over like the street with your jewelry, with your car. Like you've done so many interesting stunts. What's the deal with the stunts? Why do the stunts?
Why do the stunts? Well, you know, in order to get somebody's attention, you have to do something. You know, some people do little TikTok dances and they dance around. Other people, you know, sell you salacious material, women taking off their clothes. Somebody's going to show you an expensive car, show you money. And that's not really it for me. But you have to grab somebody's attention. So I might be, you know, I'll give you an idea of what one of my next videos is going to be, right? I'm thinking it in my head. I'm going to have a gold bar. I'm going to put it on a stove. Okay. And I'm going to see how long it takes to sizzle a steak on a gold bar. Right? It's interesting. You know, so all of a sudden your head goes, oh, ooh. And I don't usually give out my ideas before I do them, but it's a novelty. It's something you've never seen before. It's something that's going to be quirky, something that's going to be funny. And then it has a scientific component where gold conducts heat like crazy. If you wear a gold chain in a sauna, you could just burn up your chest real fast. So I want to see how long does it take for the gold bar to absorb the heat that I could sizzle a little steak and eat it on camera without editing or cutting or whatever, and then just be done with that and move on to the next idea. You know what I'm saying? And then what am I doing? I'm associating myself with gold and with, you know, gold chains and things like that. So when you think of gold, I pop into your head, right? When you think of cell phones, what's the first company that comes into your head?
Apple.
Okay. That's, you know, they got into your head on that end, right? When you think of soda pop or whatever, what's the first company that jumps into your head?
Coca-Cola.
It's the same thing for a lot of people. They own a piece of real estate in your mind, and I got to own a piece of real estate in everybody else's mind. And when you think about, you could think about sneakers or whatever it is, you could think about whatever you want. When you think about gold, you're going to have to think about me. That's my job.
When you're doing these marketing videos, I always think about this with like Mr. Beast as well. I feel like you're doing a kind of similar Mr. Beast, but with like jewelry at times. Like you'll ask people trivia questions on the street, and if they get it, you're giving them money that's like a good amount of money, it seems, in my opinion. For
I
stuff.
gave out a lot of money,
like,
man.
Do you do
I
the
wish
math?
I could get it back.
Do you do the math on like, I just gave away $100,000 with Conor McGregor. That's going to give me X, Y, and Z.
I gave
marketing.
away $200,000 with Conor McGregor because that $100,000 was back at the old prices. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I gave away, I don't want to give it away like I used to anymore, okay? I gave it away when everything was underpriced to teach people a lesson. Like, I know the value of shit and you don't. You know, I gave away maybe $500,000 worth of stuff that's now worth $1.5 million. And whoever cashed it in, I was giving kilos of silver at $800. Now they're like $2,600. These are all record prices right now. And I gave them away because I wanted to give them away at those low prices so I could be on camera and on record because I know the value of something. There's a price and then there's a value. And if you're smart, okay, why are Jewish people in the jewelry industry is a question people are scared to ask or whatever it is. Because a good Jewish person knows the difference between the price of something and the value of something, okay? And your job is to get something that's priced low but valued high. And I wanted to be on record to do that while I had the chance to do it.
Do you feel like it's paid off marketing-wise, all these stunts?
Yeah, everything paid off. Everything is going great for me, you know, and I just have to keep the momentum going, and I'm going to be able to build a pretty significant jewelry brand that's loved, you know, and appreciated. Right now, it's a lot of kids, a lot of young people, but kids grow up. And I have some momentum for the future to build a fantastic brand, just like Mr. Beast does with chocolate. The Prime Boys do with their drink, but these are drinks and these are chocolates and these are this. I get jewelry, so that's a dollar sign right there. I'm gonna fulfill my mission, play out my hand, you know, play out my part in the comedy of life, and die. And you know, I'll hopefully had a good time in between.
We go deep on Vice Culture Club. We're talking death right now.
It's like Caesar Augustus said, you know, when he was dying, I never forget that quote. He's like, "Did I play my part well in the comedy of life?" You know, he became the emperor, the first emperor of Rome. You know, he inherited the kingdom from Julius Caesar. He killed Cleopatra and her boyfriend. What was his name? Is you know whatever
Mark Anthony.
Yeah, Mark Anthony, and he conquered it, and he got that conquered thing, and he died like when he was 77, and he asked that question, and I just want to play out my part, you know, in this life. That's it.
You know, a lot of gold people talk about it is finding dead bodies in tombs chock full of gold. The Egyptians, you know, apparently believed in all that. Are you going to get buried in all your jewels?
No, I don't need it. I want to give away a lot of gold. I still want to go around the world and bury more and give more, and I wish I gave more, because those people I gave to, they have that feeling in their hearts towards me of appreciation. That's my gold. My gold is to give and to share. That makes me feel good. Wearing these heavy ass chains and a bunch of other chains, that shit is nice, but doesn't really do much for me. But to share and to play a positive part in these people's lives is really what I want to do. I don't really need to take that shit and put it in a tomb. You know what I'm saying?
I've got an idea for your next stunt. I wanted to run by you, and you'd say if you want to do it or not. Yeah. You come to my apartment with all your jewels and gold, and just leave it there and see if I can find it. You know, just leave it like it's a surprise. You know?
Yeah, that's a stunt, all right.
Yeah, you got good marketing. You blessed me with $1 million of gold. That'd be great. That'd do super well.
That's an interesting stunt. I don't want to say anything derogatory, so I'm just gonna keep on.
I think you've been blessing one person in particular that I want to run past this as well. This guy Rafi. He goes around the diamond district and he
Rafi.
gets gold and diamond. Like he pans for it, like a gold panner. And I saw you did a video with him. Yeah. And I've also seen you do videos where you're like crushing gold with your car in the diamond district.
Yeah.
Like, are you keeping this guy employed?
What's your name? Rafi, New York City gold miner, at your service.
All right. So what did you get any action today on the street?
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything over here?
But I just got here just now, but you know what?
For 20 years, I've seen RC in the Diamond District doing this, looking through mud and dirt for
I did
treasure.
show that the impossible is possible.
Yes.
So, even though...
Tonight was a lucky night, perhaps. It's a little piece of gold already, and he just started. It's not a process I'd recommend anybody goes through. It's kind of horrifying, but you know what? He's already a Diamond District legend. 20 years, a long time. When you get enough gold, let's make a one-on-one piece for the people.
Nah, I mean, you know, Rafi has been doing this since I was a kid, and I've seen him going through the cracks. I mean, when I was 18, he was out there. 18, 19, he was in the Diamond District doing it. So seeing that he's still doing that is kind of crazy to me. And he finds little scraps and dribs and drabs here and there, gets $1 out of it here and there, which is kind of crazy. You know, the Diamond District is always a crazy place. But and I'm not keeping him employed. People just scoop up all my shit as soon as I run it over.
I saw you said in the video that one day when he gets enough, you'll make something with it.
He should make a one-of-one piece from diamond scraps and gold scraps. Keep looking for him. Even if it takes 10 years, the longer, the better. And that would be something to do, but, you know, it's just an idea.
Yeah, I guess he probably sells it like immediately. I doubt he's like holding on to the value of.
I don't know what he's doing, but he's in a dirty business. And, you know, he's smoking cigarettes and out there. But nice guy, decent guy, man.
Who's your biggest customers? Like I know rappers and doing stuff, but like it's been really interesting to see the rise and fall of like crypto bros with Wall Street guys in the 80s. Like who are the big customers and which ones have you seen like rise and fall?
A rise and fall. Well, my best customer is Mr. Beast. He's an incredible customer. We make him gold stuff for his videos, you know, and he likes to do the real deal. He doesn't fake anything. So that's the best customer. Rise and fall. I mean, you know, people make money, and in the rap is more. The rap industry is where they rise and fall, lose their money, run out of it, want to switch their shit, and have a headache and this and that. That's where you get more of that type of shit, to be honest. But
like Wall Street boys, crypto guys, did you see like a big run of crypto guys coming, or do they not believe in jewelry and gold at all?
They come, they buy a watch, they buy this, they buy that, but you don't see it like you think you would. What you really see is a mixed bag of customers from different things. But the best customer is a business person that makes money, knows what they want. You know, I don't need a customer that's running in there, dumping their money and shit like that. That's not a steady business. It's not a good business model. But yeah, I've seen it. People get their money up on crypto and they drop a bag, man. And then they disappear sometimes.
Who do you hate working with?
Nobody really. I mean, everybody's a different story. I don't really particularly hate working with it, but if you get a rap customer and they have that ghetto mentality, and it could be great. They could be dumping money, and you give them a chain, and it's all good, or it could be a major headache. But I've been working with customers since I was 18 years old. I'm kind of tired of it, man. I want to have a sales team. I want them to sell the shit, and I want to kick it, and I want to relax, bro. I'm 39 years old, and I have like 100 years equivalent of business experience. I don't want to hear about how they want people when they want to buy a piece of jewelry. They want to be excited. They're like, they want to be. It's a big purchase for them. They want to talk about it. They want to ask questions. They want to do this. They want to do that. But I've lived that for a very long time, and I'm like, I'd rather give them to somebody else to take care of them, because I just don't want to have the same conversation I've been having for 20 years one more time, bro. It's just not it,
You said Mr. Beast. I think you said a couple of different guys before. Who are your biggest celebrity clients? Who do you want to what's the best stories with celebrities?
The best story is John Jones, which is the MMA fighter. And, Trump's kids, and Barron and his grandson, Donnie.
They come in?
Donnie's coming back soon.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They came in, I did a tour, Secret Service, the whole nine. Barron, hit me up the other day. John Jones, when he did his latest fight, the day after the fight, he stopped by my shop, which really gave me a lot of prestige and a lot of clout. I mean, this guy is a champion fighter. And the day after, with the bruises and everything, you're stopping by and shopping for your wife and for your family with TRAXNYC. I couldn't be more grateful. So those people, that guy and those people are amazing people. And there's more. I just don't remember, half the time, man. Just keep it moving. The way I do it is I got TRAXNYC.com. It's a website. I want to get the sales up. I want capital to flow and provide us a fantastic service in a way nobody else can, and collect the money. You know what I'm saying? The clout, the celebrities. If I want to make a video, I'll come up with a brilliant video and I'll make myself a celebrity. All that other celebrity shit and all these relationships is a bunch of bullshit to me. But I do value some of them,
Now, you make all these cool videos, cool celebrities. You've got teaching lessons on money. You're giving money away, but your most viral videos are you in a brawl in the Diamond District. What happened? Everyone wants to know.
You little bitch. You fucking bitch. Yo, don't fucking fuck out of here.
That was so unnecessary. Oh, no!
Oh, they wildin'.
Oh my god. What happened?
Oh, they wildin'.
Oh,
Yeah, get that girl.
Yo, David, should you?
In the end, they tried to kill me. Strangle me with my own chain. Get out of this hospital. TRAXNYC.com.
I mean, first and foremost, I could take my emotions I suppose I can, to a frequency that other people can't. And that's what draws them to watch it. They just unaware get emotionally involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's like a righteous indignation where if you stole from me and I warned you, don't do this again. And I warned you, don't do this again. And I warned you. And then, the people build up by thinking I'm somebody to abuse. They build up a real intense anger. And then I express that anger and it captures people's attention in a way nothing else does. So that happened. And that happened in a way that went and propagated throughout the internet more than anything else. But it's not the first time I've done that. It's not the first time that's happened. Because in a face-to-face confrontation where I'm just screaming an inch of your face and I'm daring you to fuck with me. And, the other person who knows they're in the wrong, they're like a demon. It's like a demon. They've been hiding in the closet. Now they're exposed. They don't have the strength. Even if they're stronger, they don't have the strength to confront you. They get confused. And then I press them more. And people are seeing this dance and they don't see it in everyday life. And it goes viral and I know their emotional response and I'm in their mind. And that was a crazy little run I went on. And is it the last time? Probably not. Because the more calm I get, the nicer I get, the more there's a fucking idiot trying to play with me. And that's going to happen, unfortunately, again. Perhaps to Nancy Pelosi. Nancy! No, just joking.
You don't bring your MMA fighters with you and
I'd
everything.
like to
You bring
kick her door
Connor and
down
John
and ask her
Jones.
where she stole her fucking money.
Okay, all right, yeah. They say
America would love that.
a lawyer with a briefcase has stolen more than any mobster.
Yeah,
Same
absolutely.
with politicians.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The thieves are everywhere, and people are tired of it. And they're getting robbed in ways they can't even understand, man. And that's the scary part.
Walk me through the details. Walk me through like the moment you decided you were going to make that video, that you were going to go up and confront these people.
I mean, I'll tell you, I was so happy about ending 2025 and accomplishing my goals, inside my company, building my team. I was in a great place social media wise. I had, things going in my personal life that were fun and interesting. And I'm just, I bought a new Lambo. I did it all. And I'm just, made money, I did it all. And I'm just smiling until somebody calls me up. He's like, yo, there's a customer here and he's upset. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And there's a fucking guy and, he's sad. And I want to have a good business. I don't need somebody, having a problem with my company. And he's sad and he spent $21,000. That's a lot of money. And he's holding some piece of shit. And then he's telling me, oh, I thought this was you. They said they were you. And I'm like, I'm saying, bro, it's New Year's Eve, bro. I did everything I'm supposed to do. I did everything I'm supposed to do for my customers, for my staff, for people. I gave away money, thousands of dollars. I did this, I did that. I handled everything. I did interviews. I handled everything I'm supposed to do. Why am I dealing with a problem someone else is giving me? And it's the same motherfucker again that I warned. That wants to prove to me that he's lording over me because he's got this and he bought into this and he's playing this bum fucking game from ancient Babylon or ancient Assyria or for some other fucking old time where you scheme and you fucking lie and you did something and you say, I never did that. And all these stupid ass fucking games. And this guy, I'm like, you know what? I have two options here, all right? I either give this guy his money back so he could be whole, and that's going to cost me $21,000, or I can tell him to go fuck himself, and then he's going to walk away sad, and tell him to go find his money from the dumb motherfucker he bought it from the next day and after New Year's. So it's a lose-lose, like my mood is ruined. You know what I'm saying? My New Year's Eve is ruined because of some motherfucker playing and stealing from some fucking guy for some fucking reason, ripping him off or some shit. I'm like, you know what, man, it's over. It's going to end. They fucked over this guy. I don't know if he was Guyanese or Haitian or whatever, ripped him off. And I just decided to, go and handle it. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to make the most of it because I'm so fucking angry. I'm not going to be able to enjoy my day. I'm going to just go to war. It's over. Enough is enough. And that's how it kind of like, I went behind the counter. I handled that. I gave him back the money. The next day he showed up acting like it's all good. His brother's like, let's talk like gentlemen. Talk like gentlemen about what, bro? He's like, yeah, you're going to fucking steal with me, fuck with me, play with me. I'm going to warn you not to do it. You're going to keep doing it. And then when the heat is on, you want to talk like a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk this and that, and this. And I'm like, yo, bro, you're out of your fucking league. Fuck off, bro. There's no talking like gentlemen, bro. There's no discussing it. And now we discuss it after I caught you in here and there. No, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. There's no talking like gentlemen. Why don't you war it out with me? And whoever's the last one standing stands. That's a better way of going about it.
He went in. Holy crap. No, I mean, I love the passion. I feel like that's what made people connect with it. You know? Like that could have still went down, the brawl and everything, but if you not brought the passion before, that people felt like they were on your side because you were bringing some value to your customer, you cared about your business, and people like to see that.
It was a clash between right and wrong. Everything these two fucking idiots did was wrong. the way they inherited this fucking money. They acted like they did it all. They acted like money is everything. You know what I'm saying? They're sitting here not appreciating me for anything I'm doing, stealing my clients, lying on carrots, lying on this, stealing on that, stealing on this. And to see that confronted made it a big deal for people. And I'm glad that it did. And it goes to show a lot, and people love it. And it's not, and I love the fact that I got to do it. You know, they couldn't be greedier. They couldn't be more selfish. They just couldn't be bigger pieces of shit to have that happen to. It really couldn't. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My legal department made me have to say this, but the other side of this says they did nothing wrong.
According to the New York Times, Freddie K's lawyer said his client denied all charges. You can pause here to read more statements.
Yeah, they didn't do nothing wrong. Whatever, bro. I mean, let them figure that out and let everybody figure that out. But, you know, like, I gave the guy the money back. And then I confronted him and I said, where's my fucking money? If this fucking idiot pulled out $22,000 and said it was a misunderstanding, why are you acting so crazy? I would have looked like a crazy person. But instead, he's like, go talk to my lawyer. You're never gonna see that money in your life, he says. You're never gonna see it in your life. First and foremost, how many years are you in this fucking country that you can't still speak fucking English, bro? Number one, okay? Number two, you bum fuck, bro. Why is it that you think that hoarding someone else's money that they gave to a refund from your fucking scam makes you a bigger person? It's like the mentality is so low, man. I ran off with the money and you're never gonna see it in your life. I got the money over here and you never gonna get it back. The 21,000, 22,000. You're in a dimension that is beneath what I'm fucking doing. You idiot. In front of the world, you're gonna hoard some fucking money, bro? You dumb bastard, bro.
That's something they said. They were saying you're not going to see it
You're never
again.
going to see that money in your life, he says to me, as, you know what I'm saying, as they're separating security in here. It's a fucking idiot, bro.
Were you wearing one of those chains you're wearing right now during that?
No, the murder chain, it traumatized me. I don't want to put it back on. You know what I'm saying? Just having that shit strangling me, it made me like, you know, it's like you go to a restaurant that you get food poisoning. You don't want to go back there. You know what I'm saying? It makes you feel weird, or it makes you feel, you know, or you eat a food that poisons you and you just don't want to ever eat it again. You know, it's like a chain, like my mind, like I'm wearing that particular chain. I don't want to wear it. The murder chain, I call it.
Now, it felt like real life Uncut Gems, which I know you were actually in as an actor. You know, I think that's another reason why people connected so hard. They were like, holy shit, that movie's like real as hell. People are really that passionate and crazy. People are breaking into things and getting into fights. You know?
Yeah, high dollar amount situations, you know, every customer counts. It's not like a cup of coffee where, you know, if you're fighting over a customer who buys a cup of coffee, you're insane. But you're spending high dollar amounts, it turns into a different dynamic. I could steal your customer. I could do this. You know, there's an incentive to run a scam. Like, here's a simple Diamond District scam. You bought a new Rolex, right? You bought a gold Rolex. Now, a gold Rolex, a great scam is that, you know, Rolex comes with a full set of links. It's a gold Rolex, okay? Each link is, you know, $2,500, $5,000. And it comes for a big wrist, obviously, you know? So if you take one link off, and you put it to the side, you just got, you know, pocketed $2,500 to $5,000, and you sell the watch at full price. It's a very big temptation. What the fuck do you know? Your wrist is this big, the watch fits perfectly, you paid the market price, you're just missing a link.
What's the move for people that have smaller wrists? You hold on to those links,
count
you sell those
you
links?
gotta know it, you gotta know what you're doing, who you're doing business with, and you gotta pay, you gotta get what you're paying for. But when you're buying a used Rolex at a discounted price or one that you can't buy, you can't go to a Rolex and buy any fucking thing. There's nothing there. Everything is sold out or whatever. So you got to go to a third-party person to buy it. And you buy it, you just want it to fit and you want to pay for it and get the hell out of here. You're not always counting links. And, you know, who told you you're getting all the links to begin with? You know, it's a game, man. It's business, bro. People want to get ahead. They want to get ahead, man. If you're doing fair business, you're not going to get far ahead very fast. It's tough. You got to cast a very wide net for that, man.
Does it make you more hyper aware to be in this business of people getting scammed? It feels like the kind, like up there with like used car sales and things like this is the kind of business people get into that want to kind of play around.
Once you learn about human nature, your eyes open up. You know what I'm saying? Your eyes open up, right? Your hat says, what does your hat say?
Jesus Peace. It's a band.
Jesus Peace, yeah.
But it also works for Jesus Peace.
Right, well, I've sold a lot of Jesus pieces. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus was betrayed for what?
Like 12, 20 nickels, 20 silver.
30 pieces of silver.
I took Bible class every day and I failed it.
Right. You know, so pieces of silver that from the guy, you know, Judas, who was handling the money bag or whatever, siphoning it off some money. It's the nature of people. That story in the Gospels is there. It's a very important story. It's the nature of people to steal and or hide something, right? And it's happening in the government, you know, on a scale you can't imagine. On a scale people just don't imagine. You know, these young kids, they're growing up and they're voting this. Or I saw a comment the other day, you know, like I was on Power 105, a hip hop joint, and you know, like, oh, you're asking a Trump supporter, quote unquote, or here and there and this and that. Listen, I'm not here to get fucked over for my money, bro. Okay, and watch this country being robbed of printed money. The whole war, ever since 9/11, the Iraq war, they came for the money. They did that whole shit just for the money. Siphoned off the money. People, soldiers lost their legs and arms and people dead in Iraq, and they pocketed the money. No one did nothing about it. COVID came along. That was the Democrats' scam. They came along. It was all vaccinated, planned, bats, Wuhan here, they made a bunch of money. You don't hear nothing about it. They got away with the money. They're getting away with murder, and that's where you're at in the game. They're stealing, okay? I've had employees steal. I've seen people steal on levels you can't even imagine. They gain your trust and rob you. They gain your trust and rob you. That's what's happening to you. That's why you can't get ahead. And while you're like a fucking idiot running around with your latest slogan from college to impress the girl that's never gonna fuck you or whatever the fuck you're doing out there, so you're part of the shit, you know what I'm saying, or wearing the new hipster cool hat or whatever the fuck you're doing, bro. They're just manipulating you, robbing you, getting their money, buying their property, and enjoying their lives, and you're out there running around like a fucking idiot, bro. That's the way the world works, man, and it's a shame.
You running for office anytime soon? Yeah, I feel like that was a good stump speech. You know, they're ripping us off.
Yeah, I mean,
Vote TRAXNYC.
I could and I should. If I'm successful with my business the way I want to be, then I'm going to turn to, if I can't help myself, there's no point in me helping you. All right, I'm not Mondani or these other fucking people who can't do shit for themselves, can't do anything correctly anywhere else, and then all of a sudden they're telling you what the fuck to do. But that's your problem. You love shit like that. You love the biggest fucking idiot, the bartender telling you becoming your president or whatever, or, you know, AOC or whatever the fuck these people are, because you know this and that. But for me, if I can't actually accomplish the things I set out for myself, then there's no point in me trying to help you with anything, okay? Because I'm an honest, straightforward person.
Well, here's an interesting question for you while I have you, is the diamond industry. I did some research on it. I've always, like, anytime I bring this up to our audience or any friends, they want to talk about blood diamond stuff. They also
blood diamonds, yeah, another retarded ass idea.
They also want to talk about, you know, gold and silver has a certain kind of value. Diamonds seem to be in this like odd spot right now for a couple reasons. And I want to ask you what the biggest threat to diamonds is. Is it the lab grown stuff?
Yes.
Is it the people worried about blood diamonds, ethics, this or that? Right. Or is it the like downfall of this like De Beers monopoly
You're a smart
situation?
guy. You work for Vice. What is a blood diamond, bro?
People are worried about like how ethically sourced
Forget
it is.
about what other people. What is it to you?
What people want from their resources, in my opinion, that's what I want as well, is that the people that live in that place profit off of it.
Right.
And I know Botswana is trying to do a good job with it right now.
They do a good job. They do
For
a decent
years,
job.
it felt like outsiders were coming into these places. We've seen this. You were just ranting about oil in Iraq and things. People want their resources to go to the people that live there.
Wonderful. And it's the same thing everywhere. And you need honest people to do good business to do that, okay? First and foremost, blood diamond. was a movie that you saw and it played with your emotions and you feel like you're some shit. Okay, if you never watched that movie, you wouldn't even give a fuck. Number one. Number two, that term came from a civil war in Sierra Leone that was funded. You know, the militias would force people to mine diamonds so they could buy weapons, so they could war it out. And then Martin Rappaport cut the purchase of diamonds out of Sierra Leone so they couldn't fund that war. You know what I'm saying? It's blood diamonds, it's blood cocaine, what's blood drugs, blood this, blood that. Everybody's on some bullshit. But the bottom line is you know, these natural diamonds are in the ground. They got them in their backyard. Dig them up, polish them, brand them, sell them for top dollar, build hospitals, build schools, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Saudi Arabia, it's a natural resource. Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates, they take their oil. Now they're building skyscrapers. They're building trade hubs. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing with the money. You got a natural resource. It's a diamond. It's cobalt. It's this. Fuck all the bullshit blood diamond stories. Boo-hoo. You're going to help the world. You're not helping shit. Get the fucking resources out of the ground, get them out there at a market price, reinvest it into interesting things that make more money. That's the job of every nation. And it's the job of the African nations and so on and so forth. That's the plan. You got it in the ground. There's money in the ground. Get it out. It's a diamond. It's an emerald. It's amber. Okay? It's pearls. It's gold. It's cobalt. It's this. It's that. You got to get it out of the ground and you got to share the money. And that's the job. And they don't do a good job of that in certain places. And that should be the concern. And, but the notion, blood diamond, this, that, you watch the movie, man. I mean, come on.
What do you think's the biggest risk? You know, if you're a diamond investor, which you are to a certain extent, you have a lot of diamonds. They're valued at a certain you know, level. People rejecting diamonds because of ethics, lab grown, or the collapse of the industry because in reality, diamonds are not as rare as a lot of other minerals.
The diamonds, high quality natural diamonds are super rare. When you're holding a rock out of the earth, it's not like the shit that comes out of a lab, okay? You're holding a rock, it's super rare. You know, whether it's from Angola or Botswana or Russia, Russian diamonds are sanctioned. You want to buy ethical diamonds, you want to buy them from Russia? I don't know what the fuck you're even saying, all right?
This seems to be the issue. Russia does seem to be an issue right now that they're flooding the market with diamonds, right? I don't know if you've heard of this.
I mean, they're trying to get the money. I don't know. You know, everybody's playing a game. When it comes to natural diamonds, the rare ones are the big ones, and the lab price is bringing them down. But you can make lab everything, lab emeralds and lab this, and it doesn't negate the natural gemstone. So you have to have a desire for a natural gemstone. Okay, so basically you could have a freezer and you could make ice in your freezer, or you could get it from the North Pole. Now, if I'm making you a drink with a very rare whiskey or tequila, and I import an ice cube from the North Pole, it'd be better than one from the freezer, and because it's more romantic. But if I lied to you and told you it's from the North Pole, but it was really from the freezer, and you believed it, and you thought you had some shit, would it make it? It's a psychological question. Natural gems are beautiful aspects of nature. You want to own them, you could own them, pay a fair price, make sure there's a Kimberley process, there's a this process, that the money goes back to the people. Africa needs to deal with its corruption. It needs to deal with its bullshit so people can get profit from the money. For the future, Africa is one of the richest continents on the planet. But while you have your head up your ass with Ocasio-Cortez and blood diamonds, they are going to get robbed by China. And that's it. And no one's going to remember it. No one's going to know it because you don't know shit about money, because you're brainwashed and stupid.
Tell them about two things. Do you know what the resource curse is? Have you heard that term before?
No, I haven't.
Essentially kind of like what you're talking about, this idea that there's like a lot of corruption in Africa and that people are, Sierra Leone, people are using guns to get these diamonds. Right. If you have some sort of resource in your country, that should help you. That, like, theoretically, if your country's chock full of oil or diamonds or gold or whatever, that should help your country.
Help you in Venezuela.
But in reality, most of the time it's bad because what ends up happening is you have twofold things. Either outsiders want that resource, so they fuck your country up to get that resource.
Your country up? Why don't they fuck up United Arab Emirates?
No, they come in, they colonize. Look what just happened. We just have a president kidnapped for oil that should be helping the people there, but we just had a president kidnapped for it essentially.
But why didn't they do that in the UAE?
They
Why
figured
are they
it out.
so successful that even the Jews are going over there to a Muslim country to do business?
I will say that the opposite of the resource curse, and I think you've had some experience with this, is Botswana.
Listen, there's no resource curse, bro.
It's just like an economic
bad
term.
Business. I mean, that's the thing. It's a term. You guys like it. They like it on the left wing. It's the resource curse.
I mean, I think it's an economics, like a right wing economics term thing from The Economist.
It's like a beautiful girl saying, I got the big tits curse. You know what I'm saying?
Their back hurts, man. Their back hurts all the time.
I'm cursed. Listen. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to have your blessings and learn how to use them. What's the real curse? And this is important, okay? This is important because you don't need to be cursed in Venezuela and these other places. You're voting in and believing in the dumbest motherfucking politicians you could possibly have, and then they're taking the money and stealing them. Okay, and you get nothing for it. You have no idea how much you're robbed because you're sitting there watching TV and you want to buy a Louis bag and you don't know anything about money. You don't know how to act and you're a thief yourself half the time. So Russia is from the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union is one of the biggest pieces of territory and empires known to man. 12 time zones or however many time zones, resources, timber, diamonds, gold, this, that, here, there, anything you can imagine. They couldn't manage the resources. They couldn't do nothing about it. Soviet Union collapsed. A couple of oligarchs grabbed the resources. They sold the oil. They stole from the people. They bought the yachts. They filled the Swiss bank accounts. They disappeared. It's the same game over and over. While you're voting for somebody who's promising you hope and change, if a person doesn't come out with the right receipts and the right papers and the right numbers, they're bullshitting you. Okay? When you go to a job interview and you're getting a job and they tell you it's going to be a great job and you're going to get this and this is it doesn't make sense. They have to say, I'm paying you this much per hour or that much per year with this benefit or that. When you're getting an apartment, the landlord doesn't go, it's a great apartment and it's going to be a really good price. How much is it per month? So when you have these politicians, it's how much money, where's the money going? Show me the receipts and make sure the money's flowing in the right direction. If they're not doing that, they're stealing it. Right now, Mondani and these guys are coming out and they're like something about bathrooms. Some shit I heard. We're making an investment. How much money are you investing? Where the fuck is it going? And where can I track the flow of capital? Other than that, I don't give a fuck you're stealing. That's how it is. That's how it is. That's just how it is. And if a young group of generation, a young group of people can figure that out early on in life, they could actually make a change instead of standing for a bunch of stupid shit that they could do nothing about.
Can you tell me about the Kimberley process? You mentioned that. I feel like that's something people would be interested in.
Yeah. So I don't even know that much about it. That's something Martin Rappaport. But basically,
who's you've mentioned him a couple of times as well. I've seen his website.
Martin Rappaport is a guy that priced diamonds for a very long time. All right. He was able to price the diamonds by the demand and so on and so forth. And he got into a lot of shit for it because, prices would go down. People would have inventory. They'd lose money. They'd hate him. They'd try to kill him or whatever.
They tried to kill him?
Yeah, they tried to kill him a long time ago. I mean, he's in his 70s now. And he is working with the African countries, very respected in all there. And there, he has an African village in Sierra Leone that he's getting funding for. He's building schools and hospitals in there. Very good guy, very smart guy. He really brought me into the world. That's why I traveled to Africa several times.
He's like the dude for diamonds.
Yeah.
He's like the African diamond guy. Like
yeah.
That's a question I was going to ask you. Like, it's part of our listener questions. We have one listener. I'll just go ahead and get to it. Is what is the process like from dirt to customer? Like, how does it work? How does it get to you? Right. Well, first and foremost, when I went and visited a mine in Angola, there was a vast, massive mine out there in Angola. You're talking about a hole in the ground that's just fucking huge, bro. And the processing of those rocks is crazy. It's going on a crazy conveyors, getting crushed out, filtered out.
The government gets the money. They're moving tons of dirt to find diamonds. The government gets the money and reinvests it in workers and schools, and maybe some of it gets through a leaky bucket, maybe not. And, Rappaport gives, and the Kimberly Pro is supposed to give it a grade. Are the people in the community benefiting or are they not benefiting? They're getting jobs, they're getting housing, and, you could see it on my YouTube channel. There's a whole story about it, about how the people got their money's worth from this experience, and that's pretty much what's happening. And then there's artisanal mining, where the guy is, there's some land in Sierra Leone somewhere where the river is, and they pack up the dirt and they pan it the fuck out and they see if there's a rock in there. And then it's up to them to go and polish it, swallow it, get on a plane. I don't know what they got to do with it.
Is that a thing that happens?
I mean, it could, it's your response. You found the diamond. It's your responsibility to get the money out of it, bro.
Because that's what I was curious.
No one
as well.
else's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave you that rum earlier, like this offshore nature of it. Like, how does it go once it's been mined in Angola? It's got to get to New York, right? So how does it get from there to New York?
I mean, when it goes through the big companies, right? It goes through De Beers. De Beers owns the mines, and then they sell off the rough, and they have their own process over there. So there's major organizations for that. In Angola, it was like, some Portuguese name, Sol Diam or some shit. There's an African guy on my way over here. I missed him. He was like, he called me up. He's like, came to me a couple of days ago with 2 rough stones. He was trying to get rid of them for top dollar. And nobody took them. And then he's trying to get it to me for $800. I just bought them for $680. On my way walking over here, I had him pick up $680 from the store. How he got the diamonds, where he got them over here, I have no idea. I'm going to take those diamonds. I'm going to show where I got them from this dude. And then I'm going to go to my cutters. I'm going to see what I could cut out of it and make an earring. So I'm going to make a video on that end. But those guys are either digging it up themselves in little artisanal mines, and they're looking for stones. And what you got to do, you got to get to a smartphone and you got to say, hey, ChatGPT, I got this rough. It weighs this much. How should I get the top dollar for it? And they'll and tell you how to do it or give you some advice. And if it gives you some bullshit advice, say, this advice is bullshit. I need something better. And he'll say, okay, here's something better for you.
That's a fascinating story. I didn't know that was even possible. Like, a random man from Africa can bring you a rough diamond and you're like Gucci with it. Like, you can buy it off him. He makes his money. You make your money. There's no like legalese of like needing to trace that back to where it came from.
I mean, listen, he's here. He brought me a diamond. He wants to sell it. You know what I'm saying? Why should I give him a hard time about where he got it, how he got it?
That's part of the reason like that diamonds are so fascinating. Even gold and silver is like a lot of times is stamped with like where it came. I know you can melt it down. You just put
but it's all melted down. It's nuggets,
There was these stories from Switzerland back in the day where Swiss bankers were bringing over diamonds in toothpaste tubes.
Right.
You hear stories about this, like the guy you just talked about in Uncut Gems. It arrives in a fish. Is there any other weird stories like that?
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's been a lot of, nothing comes particularly to mind, but people bring in rough and have their own stories. And people bring in opals from Ethiopia, but it shouldn't be that big of a mystery. You want to cash in your stuff, you have a right to cash in your stuff, as long as it's not stolen. With Rolexes, if your watch is stolen and you could, and the serial number is there, you could register it as a stolen watch. And if they catch it at the airport, they catch it. It's in the system as a stolen piece. And diamonds also have a laser inscription, but gold, you could remelt it. These guys, the same guy that gave me the rough, they're doing artisanal gold mining. They pour out the gold into a strip. They twist it up in a very simple system, and then they twist it and it turns into a bangle. And I bought it, and then somebody bought it off my wrist real fast. But those, artisanal gold mining is kind of my thing. So they get it, they get on a plane. Come on, man, give people a chance to make money.
All right. Well, we got some listener questions. We already asked one of them, which was the one we just watched beforehand. Some homework for the audience that I was fascinated about online. He mentioned the De Beers Diamond Corporation.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Botswana. Fascinating. Anglo-American that owns De Beers right now. fascinating. Looking at all this stuff, Rappaport, fascinating.
Right.
This is all like the diamond industry, where it's headed, the lab growns in America, the Russians flooding the market, Australia, Canada, all very fascinating stuff. Would love to do an offshore episode about it. Let's get that greenlit, everyone. Listener question time. I asked you guys survey question. I wanted to see if you guys like jewelry or not, or what your deal was with jewelry. How often do you wear jewelry? 31% of you said never, 12% said only special occasions, 10% said all social events, and 47%, the majority, said you wear jewelry every day. I asked how much, if you're poor or not, or if you're rich. We'll see if our audience is poor or rich. Spoiler, you're poor. $0 to $100 is 40% of you. So most of you wear jewelry every day, but it's worth $100. 100 to 1,000 is 30%. 1,000 to 10,000, 21%.
I hope times change for you guys.
If you hang out with this guy,
if you make smart decisions, they should.
How much are you wearing right now?
Not that much. I mean, 40 grand, maybe something like that.
Okay, so you would be in the last bucket here. 10,000 plus. Only 9% of our audience can keep up with you. But hey, you're a jeweler. So
yes, that is my job.
And the last one I asked was would you buy lab grown diamonds? And you said 23% said no, that doesn't count. As in they want the real deal, like you're talking about.
That's good. They want the real deal.
29% says I don't care as long as the price is right. That's the majority.
Right.
18% said yes, real diamonds are a scam, and 31% said yes, real diamonds are unethical.
Unethical.
So actually, now that I look back at it,
those are the retards.
The last one was the majority. The majority of our audience, the winner of that poll was yes, real diamonds are unethical.
Yeah.
That's why I asked the question on like,
so unethical.
are you worried
You're
about
saving the world because you got no ice.
All right, listener questions.
Somebody's starving out there because no one wants to buy their diamond because these fucking idiots. Whatever.
Don't roast our audience too bad, okay?
No. Like, I love it. I love
special,
you guys.
I'm going to bat for you guys.
I love you guys.
All right, here's one of them here. Listener question: where did the diamonds come from? And you've already talked about some of it. But
yeah, they come from big mining operations that move tons of dirt. And then the governments, Botswana and Angola, those are good African governments, supposedly rotate that money through the system. And that they come from big holes in the ground and artisanal mines.
You've already covered this one, but I'll say it anyways. Why are most of rare gems procured unethically? You don't have to answer it. We've already covered it. But.
I mean, they're not mostly procured unethically. It's just a movie you guys watched. You know about some shit you don't even know what happened in it.
Okay, all right. That's his answer.
That's my
do your
answer.
own research on it.
Yeah, you're going to see there. They're going to comment and you're going to see, look at this, look at that. You're going to see a lot of suffering, okay? You're going to see a lot of suffering of people being abused somewhere in a mine or something like that. It shouldn't be like that. The bottom line is you got money in the ground, dig it up, make your money, and make it happen. Great examples, United Arab Emirates, okay? They got the oil, they made it into cities, okay? There's other places that have great resources that turn it into money, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be doing this Venezuela shit. You're not supposed to be doing all this other shit. And your number one concern is, yes, people stealing natural resources from the people, opening up a Swiss bank account, disappearing while distracting you with stupid shit. That's the problem.
Here's one from the listeners. How do you deal with robberies?
How do I deal with robberies? I mean, it's a robbery. How do you deal with it? You give up the shit and you grateful that you're not dead. All right, if it's a real robbery or theft or whatever, you move on. You learn the principles of business. If you apply them, you make money. If you don't apply them, you don't make money. There's no wishful thinking. There's no positive manifestation. There's nothing. You have to adhere to the business principles if you want to make money. If you can't figure out what that is, get a job and be employed so you could get a steady paycheck.
Have you ever been mugged, taken like in the street for your 40K?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a robbery at the Buddha bar by the Trinitarios, you know what I'm saying? They all got locked up for the most part. You know, they were looking for Richard Meals. They came up, they ran up. I gave them the shit. Then they got caught. Some of it I got back.
Walk us through. What was it like? I've never been robbed. I don't know.
What was it like? It was, you know, I'm going to take a piss in a dark alley. And then this guy runs up like this. And he runs up and he's like, take off that rollie. Saying, yeah, you know, with a gun right here. And that's what it's like, you know, and it's a surprise. And I'm like, all right, man, take this shit, whatever, bro.
They ever catch him?
Yeah, they went into, it's in the New York Post. They got they had that, when shit happens to me, I could get a lot of media attention if I want to, okay? I could make it a big deal, and it influences people to act. The NYPD sprung into fucking action, bro. And they were trying to do another robbery. They were being puppeted around. Anyway, the guy that, Wilson Mendez, the guy that robbed me, he's doing time right now. And because he let me keep my Star of David during the robbery, he let me keep this. When he gets out, I'm giving him an ounce of gold.
How much is that worth?
Right now, 4,600.
Really?
By the time he gets out, probably 46,000.
Damn. So why did he let you keep your Jewish
Told him
star?
it's from God, and he must have been a God-fearing man.
How much was it worth, the star?
The stars, a couple grand altogether with the chain. But, for a robbery to let you keep it, very grateful to Wilson Mendez.
I mean, if you believe in karma, he could have stole that for 1,000 or 2, and now he's going to get, when he gets out, if you give it to him, 4,600, you said?
Right, yeah. Well, listen, maybe I'll give him a job. I mean, it's going to be years. He's in there.
All right.
He shot somebody. He shot other people. He was
anytime soon.
Yeah. He was a real robber. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't give up your shit, you got shot.
Which
it was no bullshit.
It's interesting you bring up the 4,600 or the 46,000 with gold. Someone asked, where is value trending? What's going up?
What's going up? The future, listen, labor is going down and a bunch of shit is going down because of AI. We're going through a change like no one's ever seen before in human civilization. And it's all about the metals. For the next 10 to 20 years, before we get into outer space, the whole trend is going to be about who has the metals. Silver, gold, cobalt, nickel, you name it. All right, we've depleted a lot of mines over the course of human civilization. We took all of the low-hanging fruit, and before we get to outer space to mine and do all that other stuff that's going to happen, that's going to cause abundance in those things again, it's going to be a game of metals. And that's why I bought some silver mining stocks, and I'm not giving you financial advice, but that's what I'm doing. But, and silver's at an all-time high today. Gold is at an all-time high today. Platinum is climbing like crazy. Everything's climbing like crazy. Got to get your hands on the metals, and that is a great hedge because paper currency is being depleted, and it's your responsibility. Metals and energy and chips. 3 things that the future is all about. You got your metals and the mining of them, your energy consumption, where if you could get on that side, and all of your chip manufacturers and things like that. There's a new competitor to NVIDIA that Facebook was trying to buy for $800 million. They didn't sell. Okay. They make chips that use half the power because they work in a different way. That could be a lot of money right there, man. That's not a crypto that people are realizing is all bullshit.
Yeah, let's say you can only pick. So you've got gold, you've got diamonds, you've got silver. If you could only pick one resource to have in your pocket over the next 10 years, gold, silver, diamonds, crypto, which one are you picking?
I'm definitely going for gold, I guess. I mean, you can't lose with gold. Listen, there's never been a person that's like, why the hell did I get all this gold? You know what I'm saying? In the history of civilization, there's no like, damn, I fucked up. I got this fucking useless shit. Doesn't work.
Surely it's gone down before, right? Like surely at some point, if you bought in the 90s and then sold in the mid 2000s, you were fucked. Like when was it up? When was it down? Why is it so high right now?
I mean, it's in the 90s, you did not much with gold for a very long time, but that wasn't the time to own it. That was the first when the printing first started. And, you really wanted to be in stocks, and you always want to be in stocks, but now the printing is intensifying. And the stock market is flooded, and the value has pulled out of there. Okay, so listen, money is a game. It's your responsibility to figure it out. What is it in your generation? What was it in before? You could have bought Google stock. You could buy NVIDIA stock. You could go for the stock of this new chip manufacturer. You have to know what's going on, and you have to play the game to win, or else you're going to be broke. And it might be silver one day, gold another day, or whatever it is. And in this generation right now, it's chip manufacturing. It's, a question like, if you had one thing, what would you have? Is not a fair question because I can't have one thing. And what would I do? It's not that, if I could go to only eat one thing every day, what would it be? Or listen to one song every day? That's a fun question to think about. I'd eat pizza, but it's when it comes to money,
Song. You got pizza. Song. You said song. You said pizza. Said gold.
Some Sade shit, I guess. Something mellow and low key. But any song you listen over and over is going to be bullshit. When it comes to money, it's your responsibility to make it and make it work. Money is a game. You have to know the rules, and you have to see things coming from afar and play it, right? One great piece of advice I give to young people: if you're 20 years old and you have $100 bill in your hand, that's the same as the 40-year-old version of yourself holding $2,000 equivalent. And if you spend it, it's like spending $2,000 or you could gift $2,000 to yourself if you invest it and you make the right moves. You have to think about it, play it out. I made plenty of mistakes. did plenty of things correctly. And I have a business now. I have capital coming in because of the business I started when I was 18 years old, which is fucking great. Great feeling. I highly recommend it.
Listener question: how much of Uncut Gems is accurate?
Enough. They worked a lot. The Uncut Gems is following the life of one jeweler that fucks up his business, and he's juggling money to survive and make it, waiting for a big opal to come through so he can break even and finally be in a profit. Doesn't have the inventory that he needs, and he's got a bunch of stupid shit going on. And that's not a successful jeweler. A successful jeweler has $20 to $40 million of inventory that's locked in a safe, and he circulates that. An idiot is waiting on that. But that's what the movie portrays. He's a fucking idiot that runs around and has to, get an opal out of a fish so he can, break even on something. But that's pretty accurate. That can happen.
I feel like the big way, if I remember the movie right, I just watched it the other night preparing for this, he got into sports gambling, right?
Yeah.
Do you see that happening right now?
Yeah, there's a lot of gamblers in the Diamond District. They love to gamble. I'm not a big gambler, but people love to gamble. I like a sure thing. I don't really get a lot of excitement of watching my money possibly disappear. I like to put in my money and see it come right back with more.
Did you like working with Adam Sandler?
I loved it. I mean, that was an amazing once-in-a-lifetime experience. You have on the day that we shot the scene with the fish and shit, that was just me and Adam, working together. And to have that as an experience for someone who came to this country in 1993 and just was dreaming of starting a business and never had it easy was a point of pride.
Did you sell any jewelry to him? Did he buy any jewelry? How did it all end up with him?
But he stopped by the shop, and Adam Sandler is. Look how we talk about Adam Sandler. This is a legend, and this is also a very intelligent businessman who's done so many movies, and he's in such high esteem that doing anything with him is a privilege. So that's really pretty much speaks for itself,
There's a famous moment where he shows Kevin Garnett a Furby.
Yeah.
Is there anything you've seen like that before? Anything that's just a wild piece that is of a certain era?
Yeah, I mean, Josh and Benny Safdie, they kind of wanted to make a satire of the jewelry industry, you know what I'm saying? He's made some stupid shit, a Furby, or, at some point in time, different things were popular. In the actual diamond industry, you'd make a big Tony Montana Scarface type shit or something like that would be made, a big money bag or some shit. So they kind of did that thing, but no, there was never anything like that in real life particularly, but there was silly shit that you would sell.
You see some diamond Labubus?
Yeah. No, I mean, there are out there, but that's just like the lower rung of the jewelry industry. You're trying to get clout. Labubu is the lowest of the low. That's like, I got a Labubu. You know what I'm saying? Or some of these fucking people that, whatever's trending and they're using the trending audio, and the latest little dance. So these are the lowest of the low in my eyes, man. These are people that are unaware and unawake.
You don't respect the Labubus?
No.
Okay. Good to know. We got do's and don'ts now. Right. I want to get to your, we've just got done talking a bunch about business. You've got a lot of advice for people in the world. Right. These are going to be do's and don'ts of different subject matters. And you'll tell the audience, what should they do? Do's and don'ts of male jewelry fashion. How do you rock it as a guy?
Well, you want to have a chain. I think it's nice to have something on the neck, one chain at least. It's an adornment, you know what I'm saying? Having nothing, and a watch is a must-have, and you could add a little bracelet accessory to the watch. You don't want to go overboard with it. That all depends on how you want to kind of present yourself, but you should have a chain you want to throw on once in a while. I think it's a good accessory, A chain and a watch is important, I think.
If you're new to the jewelry world and you want to get into you're a guy, you're not, you've got a gold ring, maybe you're married, you want to get a gold necklace, you want to watch. Where do you start? What kind of watch? What's a good investment to start with?
Right. Any gold chain you would have bought a while ago at a decent price, you would have, I don't want to plug my own business here, but you just want to look around and see what catches your eye that makes you feel the way you want to look, right? You want to have a nice, rare link. It's not going to change your life. Like you're wearing a chain, people are going to treat you different now. A watch, yeah. But, that depends if you're a single guy and you want to look successful, then you want to have a nice watch. If you're a married guy, it shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Give me some details on, because I know personally I'm not a jewelry guy at all. The most I've got is the gold ring.
Right.
I've just never grown up with much jewelry of any guys
that's
in my
fine.
life. If I was going to go to invest and we were to get dinner later or something and you saw me, what would impress you as oh, this guy's got some class. This guy kind of knows what he's doing.
A Patek Philippe on your wrist. I'd be like, oh shit, yes sir.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, some of those watches are $250, $350, $450. You got to be about something. Audemars Pateks, or you're wearing a two-tone Sky Dweller or whatever. It just shows exactly what status you're in. Okay, how much capital you have access to, and how important the conversation could be. If you're in the money, if you're not in the money, it doesn't matter at all. You know what I'm saying? And it could tell, what you might be into. You're wearing this hat, you're wearing this. You might have some hipster shit going on. And me, I like to be relaxed. I like to wear a sweatsuit, and I'll have one chain on the weekend, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But when it's time to dress up, I want to have something. It's a different look. But yeah, a watch says a lot. If you're doing business, a watch, it'll tell you where it's at, especially if you're wearing some crazy rare moon phase. You know what I'm saying?
What's the don'ts? Somebody shows up to do business with you, even if they're not in the jewelry world and they're wearing this, you're not doing business with them.
Nothing in particular I could say, on that end. I don't really have something where I saw somebody wearing, but, obviously if someone's wearing some of that CZ shit that, fake garbage, that they're saying I don't have money. I'm just trying to fool an Atlantic City hooker to thinking that I do. You know what I'm saying? But I actually don't have anything. And those people, it just shows some bullshit. You got some big old Dumbo shit on.
All right. How about do's and don'ts of being a jewelry customer?
Right.
What's the thing you should ask about, and what's the thing that you screwed up if you did this?
As a customer, you have the right to ask whatever you want. And I don't really have anything to tell you that, not to ask. You should ask the weight of a do would be, how much does it weigh? How many carats? What's the clarity? What's the quality? And you want to know the specifics of whatever it is and how much if you're a customer and you're coming to shop at a brand and you're asking, how much is it per gram on some, piece, there might not be an answer. So in some places that's not appropriate because, the way the jewelry business works is you want to be in demand. You don't want to have to answer every question. So some customers might ask a question, a penny pincher question, a tire kicker question. You want to be like Ferrari. Excuse me? You want to know what? How this car is painted? Get the fuck out of the showroom. You know what I'm saying? That's where you want to be at. Okay, you want to be able to say, this is not for you, sir. So that's my job as a brand builder. I want to make something desirable. I want to treat my customers with respect, but I also want to be able to say no. So some people that are tire kickers asking a bunch of shit about, per gram and 50 cents or off or whatever, that's a don't, I suppose. But there is no do's and don'ts. It's your money. Spend it, get value. It's your responsibility. My responsibility is to build a fantastic business that can appreciate your dollar.
I think what most people are worried about on the do's and don'ts of customers is getting scammed.
Yes.
How do you avoid getting scammed?
How do you avoid getting scammed? You work with trustworthy people. Okay. That's just really what it is. And if you don't know how to identify trustworthy people, that's your first step. Figure out what a trustworthy person looks like, how they act, and who to do business with. Okay, that's your job. Whether you're doing something, how do you avoid, there might be some tips, you're building a house. How do you avoid getting a contractor that isn't going to fuck things up or do this or do that? How do you avoid hiring somebody that isn't going to steal from you? How do you do this? You have to differentiate good from bad. And deal with reputable people, read a lot of reviews. I got to go take my cat to the vet. How do I avoid the vet that's going to fuck me over? I got to read the reviews and got to do my homework. And then I got to go over there and I got to make sure that the person sounds reputable and makes sense when they talk based on my life experiences.
I think there's going to be a lot of people watching this. They're like, wow, TRAXNYC. He's on the podcast. He's on Vice Culture Club. I want to be like him. I want to get into the jewelry business. What's the do's and don'ts of breaking into this business?
This is not a business that you want to break into. Okay. This business is, your great grandson might be successful if you keep at it. Okay. People stick in this business for generations while they're either working with their hands or so on and so forth. If you want to break into it, you work for free with great companies. Okay, you offer up your service and you build a name and you build a reputation. But unless you're ready to carry this shit on your back for 20 years, be very careful what industry you choose. I got into this business wondering if I could ever make a sale. And then 21 years later, I'm still in it. And it was a nightmare. Unless, when the social media came around, I made it about fun. I made it creative. And I finally made a happy life for myself. But before, it was a nightmare. You know what I'm saying? They had no weapons to deploy against scumbags that were attacking me, playing the same old stupid-ass game that they were playing. I couldn't fend them off. And people were playing with my money, lying, this, that, and it was just a miserable life. So, the real thing is, you make sure you're aligned with a beautiful spirit in your life so you can find your place in it. Get right with God.
All right. Do's and don'ts of dealing with celebrities.
Do's and don'ts of dealing with celebrities. I mean, for me, it's don't give a shit. I don't need to cater to anybody and kiss their fucking ass, man. That's just really what it is for me. That's like a big don't. I don't want their clout and I don't want their shit. But if you need it, then you do that. And you have to cater and jump around. But you're jumping around so someone pretends they have a higher social class status than you when they're really shit. And some people just have status that it's undeserved, or they're really good at one thing and really shit in another. So don't give your ass away. That's the don't.
All right, don't give your ass away. Do's and don'ts. I'm glad you like that. Do's and don'ts. Marketing on social media.
Marketing on social media. You gotta do is what you gotta do is you gotta be original. You gotta be straightforward. You gotta think speak from the heart, because the internet always sees everything for what it is. And do keep practicing, even if it doesn't work, because you never know when you're gonna hit. I've seen people that were losers turn into winners, and I'm one of them. So that's a do. Don't get discouraged because you're learning. So don't get discouraged and keep trying. If you really want to have a passion about it, you're going to think about it. You're going to find a way to make it work.
All right, well, that was Max, otherwise known as TRAXNYC. It was super cool to sit down with him. Cool to see 40K worth of jewelry on a man next to me. Yeah, sure. Cool to hear his stories. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I've realized a lot of people try to fit into society, and there's me, then there's me. I just do my own thing. I really don't care. I just march the beat of my own drum. I do what I want, when I want, how I want.